So as the year is coming to a close, I usually like to do top 10 videos. And today we're going to take a look at a watch that I think will make one of those videos, and more than likely one of the best micro brand watches that I have reviewed here on my channel this year. It is called Maen, and this is their Hudson MK4. They're coming out with a GMT version of this watch. Today I have the diver version with 300 meters of water resistance. The price tag is actually way lower than the quality that you're getting. Also, the movement that they're using in this watch is a movement that I really like, and I wish that more brands would actually utilize. So let's flip the camera and take a look at a watch from Maen, one of the first times I'm featuring them on my channel, and the Hudson MK4. So by far my favorite dive watch from the wind-up watch fair here in New York that was just about 2 or 3 weeks ago now was this. This is the Hudson from Maen, and they make some really nice watches. I was not very familiar with this brand prior to the wind-up watch fair, and I have to really thank them for displaying their watches there, because it really was an eye-opener. I was very, very taken with this watch, and especially their new GMT. They also make an integrated bracelet watch, the beautiful dial, that's the Manhattan, but this is their Hudson. It's a dive watch that has some inspiration from Rolex and Tudor, but they do a great job at making an homage to them without making a direct homage at all. In fact, you get a lot of elements on this watch that are very original to their brand, and I'm going to start with their hands. Now, normally I don't start out with talking about hands on a watch, but when you look at the hands on this watch, they are sort of Art Deco inspired. The hour hand looks like a little, sort of like an Empire State Building, and there's a red tip to it. Same thing with that minute hand. And then you have a second hand with a red lollipop. That bezel is in a sort of graphite gray color. You have a red triangle right there. You have a chapter ring. That chapter ring is in white, but the actual primary indices are in a green color, which is very, very subtle. It's a dark green color. You wouldn't notice it immediately when you look at it, but I'll do close-ups so you can see what I'm saying. It's sort of a white silver chapter ring. Excellent. They did a great job with this watch. All of the details are on point and a little bit special. You have a domed box sapphire crystal, and then, of course, you have applied indices. Now, the applied indices are big, they're deep, and they're filled with lume. We'll do a lume shot at the end. Lume is actually very good on this watch. Then you have a sand-blasted dial, and you have Maen at the top, the brand logo, which is just their name, and then below that it says automatic, 300 meters of water resistance. So this little watch has 300 meters of water resistance. Inside, you get the Ronda R150. I love that movement. Sort of an alternative to your SW200s and your ETA 2824s. It's in between the 2892 and a 2824. So it's actually a really nice movement, and it's thin. So that means you get a thin 300 meter dive watch. This is a 38mm case. You get screwed in crown, screwed in case back, 38mm case with 300 meters of water resistance. That's really good. So it's 37.9 millimeters. Very big, grippy crown on here. 6.9 millimeters for a 38mm watch. That's very, very good. You do get female end links on here. I'm going to talk about the bracelet in just a second, but the lug to lug is 46.3 at the bracelet, 46.6. So basically the effective lug to lug is the lug to lug, which is excellent. The thickness on here is a thin 12 millimeters thick. That's including the domed and boxed sapphire crystal. Now let's talk about the bezel action, and then we will talk about the bracelet. So bezel on here, really good bezel action. So this brand is actually located in Sweden, I believe in Stockholm, and they make their watches in Switzerland. So this is a Swiss-made watch. This is actually made in Switzerland. You get a certificate here, says that it's made in Switzerland. You also get this strap. This is a gray Tropic rubber strap. I believe it comes with this and it also comes with the bracelet. Now, here's what really impressed me about these watches, besides all of the specs and details that I'm going through, but it was also the bracelet. And I like the look of it. Like I said, I normally don't like that line of polish, but what they did here is a little bit thicker of a line. It's almost like a multi-link bracelet because of that. It's not really an oyster style bracelet or an H style bracelet. It's its own sort of design. Looks like a little bit of a Grand Seiko design, but at the same time, it's just interesting. It goes really well with this diver case. I really like it. So the case here is obviously inspired by Tudor. I would say it's like a Tudor Black Bay 58 inspired case, vintage Rolex. But since they put so many other elements here, sort of changes it a little bit. It doesn't look like a Rolex homage in my opinion. But that's my opinion. You also get sort of a little ring of polished stainless steel around where the sapphire crystal is, which also looks really good as well. So very quickly, let's talk about price. And then I'll throw it on my wrist. We'll do a Lume Shot. Price, $545. Ronda R150, an excellent movement. You also get 300 meters of water resistance, an extra strap, a pouch. It's just a really good looking watch, and it is Swiss made. That is an excellent price. That's why I think this is probably my favorite diver of the year from Micro Brand, and I'm pretty sure that's where I'm at with this. And it's definitely my favorite diver that I saw, hands down, at the Wind Up Watch Fair. Excellent design and just a really good looking watch. Very quickly, let me show you what I have on my wrist. One of my other favorites from the Wind Up Watch Fair is Christopher Ward, the Bel Canto, a watch that has literally not left my wrist since I got it. And I have a feeling I'm gonna be wearing this watch a lot because I just feel it is good looking. And I think it's really well made. I haven't sized it for my wrist yet, but I will. Obviously it has screwed links. And there you go. That is a handsome, handsome watch. Very straightforward, but good looking, well-designed dive watch. For $545, I think you're getting a lot of little details that are done well and executed well with really nice finishing and the whole 9 yards. Definitely a brand that I really cannot believe that I have not had experience with. And I'm super, super impressed by this. Anyway, very quickly, let's do a Lume Shot. There you go. The Lume is great on this watch. Really well executed. Obviously, you have a date at the 3 o'clock. I didn't mention that before. Not Lume, so you do have that. It's probably the only knock that I would have against this watch is the fact that it has a date. I believe you get this dateless, but then you might get a ghost date position. At least that's what I think I experienced at the Wind Up Watch Fair. So I guess I would go with the date on here if you don't want the ghost date position. Personally, I would have just gotten the no date, version instead. But either way, I think this is so cool. And then also that little tip, that red tip on that second hand, that's also lumed. And then there is lume on the second hand, which is also red. That's going to, fade a lot quicker than the rest of the lume on this watch. But all in all, a fantastic looking watch that is really well made. Anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the brand as a whole? Everything that they are doing right now, all the watches that I have seen from this brand, I think are very interesting. One of the watches that I am dying to see is their new GMT. They sort of put it in this case. It looks very similar to this, has that sort of sandblasted dial, that textured dial, which looks phenomenal. And it's a GMT. I believe they're using a Sopra GMT. So it is a high grade movement, however, an office GMT, so something to keep in mind. But I think they're pricing it really, really aggressively. And again, it is Swiss made, just like this watch for $545, a Swiss made 300 meter dive watch at $545 at this level of quality. I honestly, it could be the diver of the year for me for Micro Brand diver. There are a few contenders out there. This is definitely one of them. Anyway, like I said, tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the brand? Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It is super helpful for the channel. I very much appreciate it. The easiest way to help support my channel is just by hitting that like button and of course subscribing if you haven't. And like I said, it's the easiest way to help support me and help me in this journey and continue to create more content and bring you more watches like these. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you in my next video.